We are going to start with Dr. Jonas Jansson. Jonas Jansson is the head of the department Traffic and Road User at the Swedish National Road and Transport Research Institute. The department focuses on traffic safety, vehicle, technology and human factors, as well as sustainable mobility and active modes of transportation. Un fuerte aplauso para Jonas.
A big round of applause for Jonas Jansson.
Thank you, and good morning. Can you hear me? Yes, it works. Great. So, it's okay. Sorry, it's moving ahead. Power two-wheelers, I think we have already discussed yesterday. It's a very important part of moving to a sustainable transport system. But to be part of a sustainable solution, it has to be safe, of course. And already yesterday, we heard a lot of things that could make riding more safer. And I am going to tell you about an effort that I think was a great success. A lot of international experts coming together to discuss prioritized items, actions, to move ahead with making riding more safe. And I move directly to the results of this exercise. So we choose to call it priority actions for power two-wheelers. And I will just give you a very short overview of what we mean by this. We came up with 8 priority actions, and you already heard, I think, some speaker mentioning this work yesterday. So the first one is move to sustainable practice, and that is about organizations, companies, authorities, NGOs, taking more responsibility for their own operations and their value chains and how the safety footprint looks like in their operations. Supporting modal shift is, of course, to use transport, different transport modes more effectively and more wisely. That may, of course, mean, or that by necessity means that we may need to move away from cars, and that means we're going to have more power two-wheelers on the road. But it, of course, can also mean that we move away from power two-wheelers to having kids go to their school by public transports and so on. So it goes both ways. Adopting safe vehicles and equipment, of course, there is always the industry is pushing for better technology and safer vehicles, safer equipment, and this, of course, has to proceed. And there are a lot of well-known established solutions. I think we mentioned yesterday ABS, which is a priority technology, and always headlight on technology, for example. Educate safe riders is about having a solid licensing system and state-of-the-art education, of course. I think you heard the speakers also mentioning that we really discuss the issue that different levels and different regions are really on different levels in these areas, in several of these areas actually. So what works in one setting may not work in all settings, of course. That is an important point. Redesign infrastructure, moving away from a car-centric approach to accommodating the needs for vulnerable road users. That is crucial. Ensure safe speed is, of course, about speed compliance, but also setting the right speed for a particular facility. And finally, we have protect, or not finally, but the second last one is protect children. That has many implications and was a topic that we discussed quite a lot. It may make sense to provide public transport for children, for example, but in the cases where there are no options but to use power two-wheelers, we need to make sure that children have proper protective equipment and proper equipment to ride safely. Of course, it's also about making the vicinity of schools and areas where there are a lot of children extra safe, taking extra care of the infrastructure around those areas. The final one is the increase of knowledge. Power two-wheelers and the safety of power two-wheeler is an area where we need to do a lot more research. And I think we heard several speakers mentioning this yesterday. It's not certain that we can take results from one region and apply it to another, because there are particular settings. So we need to understand what measures works best in what settings. And that is the priority action that we came up with. And to give you the background, we did this workshop as an attempt to establish these items in the spirit of Vision Zero and to elaborate on the 9 recommendations of the academic experts group from the Stockholm Declaration. And there are actually several people in the room here today who did a tremendous work to get this workshop into place, and they deserve all the credit. So it was a really large team effort and a lot of people involved in this. And the workshop itself was collecting 120 experts from all over the world. And it was 6 separate sessions focusing on different topics, with a moderator and a rapporteur, and also my personnel from VTI who wrote the final report. They received the material that the moderator and the rapporteur collected and turned it into a report. So this was quite a knowledgeable group, I would say. And we tried to have these were really meant to be global recommendations, and I think we really succeeded. We tried to have experts from different fields representing different stakeholders, like industry, authorities, cities, research, and so on. And also, we could not, of course, cover all the countries in the world, but we at least tried to consider these regions here, and we had representatives from all these regions. And just to give you a flavor of the report, it's a long report and you can read quite a lot of the task that is considered important for each of these priority actions. But if you don't have the time to read the entire report, we tried to provide a sort of a one-page summary collecting the most valuable insights of each of the priority action. And just to give you a flavor of how it looks like, this is for the adopt safe vehicles and equipment. It talks about the fitment of ABS and CBS, always headlight on, but also the need to establish testing procedures and providing consumer with good knowledge about the safety performance of their personal protective equipment. Similarly, for the Protect Children, as I said, this is several different areas you need to look out, making infrastructure safe, maybe providing children with other means of transport, but also providing the right gear for children to ride safely. I think this will be the end of my talk. I think the great success in this is, it's nothing new. You heard about this countermeasure already. But what we managed to achieve was really a consensus. So what is in this report is something that basically everyone agreed on from different parts of the world, representing different stakeholders. And in that sense, I think it was a great success. And if you Google riding in a safe system, you will find the VTI report that you can download and have a look at if you want to go deeper into what the workshop really discussed. So that's all for me. Thank you for listening.